Hello everyone and welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel. As with you always, this is Rich doing another video today on XRP. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day today wherever you are in this great world. We're gonna talk about XRP. And once again, this is the one-day chart. We're sitting here at $1.39. At the time I'm making this video, XRP is having a slight pullback. But if you look at the 1 week, here's the low. Here's a higher low, another higher low, and then a leg up. Now we're going through a pullback, but we're setting a higher low right here. What we should see next is the next leg up. And a lot of big things are supposed to happen today. Possibility of market structure getting passed and Ripple possibly getting approved for that banking license. Though that would be very good for the price of XRP in the short term. And look at Bitcoin back under 68K. But if you look at the 1 week, still the same setup structure because we're still following Bitcoin right now. And I'm expecting the next leg up on Bitcoin as well. And as that happens, it's going to pull the rest of the market up with it. But if Bitcoin starts to head back towards 100K, at some point, I think we're going to start to see Bitcoin's price rising and the dominance falling at the same time. That will solidify that we're heading into alt season. And look at the Fear and Greed Index, now at a 16. It looks like the fear is starting to leave the crypto space. It's going to get replaced with excitement. But nobody's going to go all in until we start to see the breakouts on these cryptocurrencies. Once they start to break out, everybody has to have it. Right now, nobody wants to go all in yet. And this is big, and I hope that Jane Street gets everything they deserve. Trump media accusing Jane Street, amongst others, of naked short selling in a letter to Congress. Trump media called for a full investigation into Jane Street, Citadel, and others. Now Jane Street is facing a second lawsuit over claims it wiped out $40 billion in value. I remember back in 2022, the Terra Luna crash. I started this channel and I was talking about Luna back then. And everybody was pointing the finger at Do Kwon. Here, behind that crash, it was always Jane Street. And I can't wait to see where this goes from here. This comes from Bitrue. Bitrue has recorded a spike in XRP activity as institutional appetite grows. We recorded a 212% increase in XRP spot purchase volumes, outpacing the sell side by over 2x. The surge coinciding with an accumulation of XRP that's been ongoing from institutional investors since the launch of the XRP ETFs. Since then, XRP has attracted a net total of $1.1 billion in assets, while recording positive total inflows weekly and negative outflows of only 5 days. With support increasing from retail and institutional levels, Bitrue is forecasting a potential supply squeeze, which will likely result in XRP outperforming key competitors over Q2 2026. So think about that. That's what I've been telling you this entire time. We could see scarcity this year for XRP. Over the next couple of months, we could start to see scarcity show up for XRP. I stress that more than anything, because once scarcity shows up, that's it. We're going to see spikes on XRP like we've never seen before. And here's yesterday's volume. $13.21 million. And people keep saying, well, that's just paper XRP. No, the ETF filers like Franklin Templeton and so on, when they sell ETFs, they have to hold the actual XRP to back those ETFs. And right now, they're buying XRP on dark pools and over-the-counter desk. But those dark pools and over-the-counter desk don't have endless supplies of XRP. They will eventually run out, and then Franklin Templeton and the rest of these ETF filers will have to turn to the exchanges to buy XRP. Now you couple that with retail FOMO and institutional FOMO, and things are going to get very interesting very fast for XRP. And this is big also. Switch about to be flipped. Take a listen.
That said, I think a reasonable expectation is what I said before, which is, I genuinely think we could get to 5 billion by the middle of 2026 with a good tailwind, of course. But I know the parties we're talking to. I also know the protocols we're building. I know, like, for instance, to give you a really good example, we are working with Zaman, which is one of the major wallets on the XRP ledger, to create a smart account that enables you to stake directly from XRP ledger into Firelight on Flare without you having to touch the bridge. You don't have to interact with the bridge. You don't have to transact on Flare. You can just stake directly through what we call a smart account through Zaman. And that's in progress. I don't know when it will be delivered, but that's in progress. And Zaman has, as I understand it, roughly 4 billion XRP that is held through the Zaman wallet. So, that's about $12 billion, just that. And I think, there's no reason that we wouldn't be able to pick up a reasonable amount of the assets that.
So Flare wants to lock up that 5 billion XRP by the middle of 2026. Like I've been saying this entire time, scarcity is coming for XRP. And we are going to see price points that we could only dream about. Greg says, nothing has changed for XRP rally to $33. He's not wrong. Everything is still the same. Every time we see a red day, right away people think it's over for XRP. But everybody's still expecting $27 conservative price point for XRP. $50 plus, more bullish price points. Then full on Moonboy price points, $100 to $1,000 per XRP. But with scarcity, we could see those higher numbers, because once the ETF filers got to turn to the exchanges, you're going to see XRP disappear very fast. And this is a great clip. Take a listen to this.
I think that plays in. When I say run violently, I mean it's not going to just go to like $3 again and then fizzle down to like it'll move to 10 probably. Get a lot of retail out, 20, get even more out. There's only 300,000 people that have more than 3,000 tokens. That's nothing. So you wipe out 70% of them. Are they really going to care if 100,000 people hang on?
Yeah, no, and most
no.
By the time you're $100, you've probably lost 80 to 90% of them.
Exactly. So if there's 50,000 people left on Earth that refuse to sell, like you and me, they're not going to care.
They're not going to care if you get rich off of your XRP. And the reason they're not going to care is because most of retail is going to be out before we reach $100. And everybody's still expecting these major pullbacks to happen. I don't see those pullbacks coming. Think about it. We are on the verge of regulations. We're on the verge of tokenization. Possible scarcity showing up for XRP. Volume on the XRP ledger surging every single day. There's more and more transactions now. And through tokenization alone, you think about all that value running across the XRP ledger. The price of XRP is going to continue upward because you're going to have more and more onboarding all the time. I still believe we are headed into a utility run, and it's going to be a very long run for XRP. But once we get close to $100, most of retail will be out of XRP forever because I think the price is going to continue upward. You didn't get this far for no reason. It's the best time to get your XRP thesis up. This comes from Vet. So he says, XRP is dead narrative returns. This is not the first time XRP has faced prolonged skepticism. Back in 2022 to 2024, when XRP traded around $1 for years, critics labeled it stagnant. It wasn't even at $1, it was at 50 cents. Yet, in 2024, the asset broke out and surged roughly 7x. Today, after touching $3.66 in 2025 and retracing towards $1.10 to $1.30 range, similar claims are resurfacing. Vet previously criticized what he called collective amnesia among market participants who repeatedly dismiss XRP during consolidation phases, only to chase once momentum returns. And that's what happens. Nobody wants to buy XRP when the price is down or it's going sideways. But the second that the green candles show up, everybody has to have it. That's why I always urge you to buy when there's blood in the streets. Then he goes on to talk about previous runs for XRP, saying you can't base where XRP is going off of previous cycles. And he's right. Even though the chart might be perfectly following 2017, 2018, things are a lot different right now for XRP. XRP now has clarity. It's back on all the exchanges. The SEC versus Ripple case is done and over with. We're starting to see banks holding XRP, banks utilizing XRP. This run, I think, is going to be way bigger than previous runs. Here's the target for the descending channel pattern breakout for XRP. So you see the descending channel right here. Every time you see that, usually a massive breakout follows. Short term, they're saying we could see $4 for XRP. Once we cross above $4, I don't think there's going to be any slowing down. I think we're going to see FOMO like we've never seen before for this cryptocurrency. Everybody knows what it's capable of, and everybody has to have it once the breakout begins. And I can't believe we are in 2026 and people are still arguing about XRP being centralized. David Schwartz says, we built the XRP ledger so even Ripple can't control it. He said, we carefully and intentionally designed XRP ledger so that we could not control it. It's not because we weren't 100% confident, we were. He goes on to say, we absolutely and clearly decided that we did not want control and that it would be to our own benefit to not have that control. What's really happening is this. The Bitcoin maxis are now seeing adoption happen for XRP. They're starting to see the momentum behind XRP, and they're afraid that it's going to take the #1 spot away from Bitcoin. So now they're pushing all the same old FUD from years ago. It's centralized. It's the banker's coin. Well, wouldn't you want to be holding the banker's coin when the banks are now onboarding into the crypto space? Why would you hold anything else? Adoption is happening very quick. Institutional mass adoption is going to happen this year, and we are going to capitalize on it as XRP holders. Indiana's HB 1042 bill has passed both legislative chambers and is now awaiting the governor's signature. The bill seeks to open up crypto investment options for public retirement plans and protect digital asset activities on an individual level. Right now, a lot of these states are starting to get bills passed, get them in place. I think every state is still going to end up having a crypto treasury because that would make sense going forward. And domestically, XRP is going to be moving domestically as well. That's why Ripple acquired all those money transmitter licenses in the US to begin with. But seeing states starting to get a move on this now, it shows you that we are very close. And like I said at the beginning of this video, right now XRP is in the middle of a pullback. It's not even a deep pullback, and people are panicking already. I think we're seeing the setup for the next leg up. Let's hope that happens. And until it happens, stay patient, stay positive, and let's get rich together. With that said, I'm going to wrap up this video. I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great night.